start a few minutes early. Couple minutes, 9 minutes. Sit and chat. Maybe I'll do a bit of warm-up. I should do a bit of warm-up. I should really do a bit of warm-up. Oh boy, should I ever do a bit of warm-up. You know what? Chapter 6. Chapter 6 a good chapter to warm up on. Halibut Barn says, "Oh, sudden sound from my laptop." Ship Toaster says, hey, Ship Toaster. So I haven't played in like 2 weeks because basically since Wednesday 2 weeks ago, things have been wild and crazy, to say the least. So yeah, I'm sorry the last one. I'm sorry week 19 ended so abruptly. It was spiraling. It was spiraling on me, and I decided to bail. And it was a good reminder. It was actually it was good on the whole. It was very, very negative space at the time, but it was a good reminder of how little I personally like how little like the competition doesn't feed me emotionally. It's not a thing that I get a lot out of. It's not that I like hate competition, but think of it in the same kind of framing as you would introvert versus extrovert. It's not that introverts like hate meeting people. It's just that meeting new people doesn't emotionally feed them. It doesn't energize them. It is an energy drain. It takes a lot of energy to care about meeting people as an introvert. And right, got to charge. And it's a similar thing for me when it comes to competition. It's not that I hate competition, so there's even contexts where I enjoy it, but it on the whole takes a lot of energy out of me. It doesn't feed me, it doesn't energize me. I don't get hyped about it. I don't look forward to it. It causes me a lot more it takes a lot more out of me than it puts in. And so if I stick with it too long, like if I get too deep into it, it just causes me a lot of anxiety and a lot of trouble. I get ladder anxiety really easily. Like I actually really like a bunch of competitive games. Like I actually really like a lot of MOBAs. I'm a big I've played hundreds of hours of League of Legends over the years, and I have never actually finished my placement matches for ladder. I've been level 30 for 7 years now. 7, no, longer. 8 years. I've been level 30 for 8 years in League of Legends, and I have never actually completed my ladder placement matches, because I get through a few of them and then I just start panicking about it. I just start freaking out. And I'm well aware of the fact that it's like, okay, well, when you really get into competitive stuff, like when you get into that space, that you have to find, you end up finding sort of the place where it's like an individual match doesn't matter anymore. You're looking at like long-term statistics, you're looking at performance over time, you're looking at just a lot of other things, and it doesn't become about any given match. And I'm aware of that academically, but psychologically I still have a lot of trouble actually getting into that space. I was able in StarCraft 2. I was actually able to get into that space for a bit. Like I was able to do, you know, I did my placement matches. I did ladder. I ranked up through. I think I got to gold back in Wings of Liberty. Yeah, I made it to gold. Like I set a challenge for myself to basically get gold in Wings of Liberty, because I figured, based off of my skill, that like in the game, that it's like, okay, if I'm good enough at the game to solve, like if I can get brutal campaign ace on my own in Wings of Liberty, which is not absurdly difficult, but is pretty hard, especially if you're figuring everything out for yourself. But like it is a substantial challenge. It's not a top tier challenge. It's not like, oh well, if you can do it, you're one of the best players. It's just, it is a reasonable challenge. And I was like, okay, this is probably puts me like high silver, low gold, you know, in terms of skill. Like if I were to get ranked, I would probably be, you know, high silver, low gold. Which is nothing, you know, nothing to brag about, but like, you know, solid, decent. It's all right. It's all right. And so I did it to prove it to myself, and I did. And I was able to get into that space where it was like, okay, you get into a match, you know, you focus on the match, but you don't get consumed by the match. And, you know, because it's like, if it's one match down, like, okay, fine. Like, because you're going to have to play hundreds of matches. And, you know, so, yeah, you're gonna need to play hundreds of matches, and so it's going to be a long process. And, you know, once I was able to get over that hump to the point where it was like, you know, I was playing, you know, 40, 50 matches a week, and was thus able to like not view any given match. But the problem then there is that, you know, what wound up happening then is I hit gold, and then I was like, okay, I'm kind of done with StarCraft 2 for now, and I took a break. Like, I didn't play it at all for several weeks, and then when I went back in, and like all of that progress was undone, that it was like immediately, like I get into a match and immediately I start, you know, getting the jitters, and I start freaking out about it. And then like the second match, like I did a second one, and it was a downward spiral, because I started getting like really, really anxious about performance. And so all of that work was like undone. It doesn't come naturally to me. It takes a lot of effort to do it. And if I get out of it, then it disappears instantly. So that was one of the things that is a thing that I've learned about myself, is I don't do well in competitive environments, in highly competitive environments. So yeah, how that relates to speedrunning. And this is a pretty straight line sort of connection to speedrunning. Is, what do I enjoy about speedrunning? Well, I love the performance aspect. I love the puzzle aspect, like the figuring things out. Like when we were like earlier in the year, late last year, early this year, when Ship Toaster, Vexel, and myself were figuring out the run. And we're figuring out where the breaks were. I loved that. That was so much fun. That feeds me. Like, I can do that a lot. I can do that aspect of things for, like, you know, hours. It comes naturally. I enjoy it. I get, it energizes me. I get excited by it. And, you know, like, that is the stuff that I really get into. And that's where I get my enjoyment from it. And the straight head-to-head competition, like when it was just Vex when it was just Vex and me, like, doing our goofy little, like, hey, yeah, let's keep track of the world record. It's just the two of us on this page, and we're doing, you know, it was light competition. That was, that was all right. But I could never take it very seriously. And so 2 weeks ago for week 19, taking it seriously, taking it very seriously, wound up spiraling pretty quickly. So yeah. That's kind of what happened there. So I am going to try and get a really good PB. I'm gonna try to get a PB under 43 before GDQ. But I might end up trying it kind of on my own and just like record, like I'll just record the runs. I'll just hook it up to the external recorder and I'll just run them in private, and then if it happens I'll post it, or maybe we'll like sit and watch it, because the combination of like public performance and competition was just was lethal. And yeah. I should run a timer. Right now, I'm torn between running a timer and just not running a timer. Because not running a timer is what, or that running, like someone else running a timer is what GDQ is gonna do. All right. It's still early. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm just going to go grab the cable that I need to hook up my timer, because I still don't. Or what's that? People keep telling you to use a HTML timer. I don't remember. What is timers? W split, LAN fair, live split, Kazami timer, Woody SDA timer, M split. I don't. The HTML timer is called Splitty. Splitty booked. That's Splitty travel. Splitty simple web timing splitting software. Splitty travel. Splitty reviews. I'm getting okay. Do I need to? How do I? Oh, this is the one I looked at before, and it was like I need to do a bunch of setup. What if I just go? Wait, I already have a timer by this name. Cancel. Stop it. Yeah, okay. Wait, load timer. Amy. Oh, wait, what? I already made one. Okay. All right, one sec. Let's add I guess We could just do that. Let's just try that. All right. This will be new. This might go catastrophic. And I'm still going to be bad at doing my splits properly, but all right, let's just 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Amy. Welcome to Amy, released in 2012. This was developed by Vector Cell and published by Lexus Numerique. This is a game somewhat notorious for its shoddy construction and rushed or aborted development. It is an incomplete game that was put out onto the street because the developers were out of money. So starting off here, we're going to have about a minute of loading to begin. I hope you get used to that. The loading screens are going to be a substantial contribution to the total time that this run is going to take. Indeed, you could say that the loading screens are the true nemesis, the true antagonist of Amy. The minor antagonist of Amy are these guys we just killed. Our first one. These are Steves. I do not remember why we originally started calling them Steves, but we do. We were like, okay, we need to name everything in the game. We need to name all of the enemies that we fight, and through a process that has been lost to me, we eventually settled on Steve for all of the minor enemies. So they're all named Steve, every last one of them.
Amy! Amy, it's me.
So,
Lana.
a brief introduction to the controls, though we're going to come around the corner here and we're going to want to talk to this guy. His name's Marcello. You can call him Cello. I didn't review my script before we started this week, and I haven't played in 2 weeks, so it's a little it's a little rough. It's a little rough at the moment. All right, but Lana's fully recharged. There's a skip that Star. Oh no, I'm forgetting his name. Stardock, Starmy, Star You. One of the other runners, one of the Starwin. Starwin sent me a skip a couple weeks ago. A thing that he figured out how to do, that he could get Marcello here to actually like run at full speed rather than walking through that segment. But I watched the video, but I couldn't figure out how he did it or what was going on. He said he can reproduce it some of the time, but it didn't entirely make sense to me. So there's a few things that Starwin has found that I need to go through in more detail in order to get properly incorporated into my run. So we're probably going to end up being a little bit on the slower side. I mean, like, this is also like we're getting back into it. This is practice run. This is get our hands back into the groove of things run. So this right here is going to be our first mastermind puzzle. And it looks like it's actually going to be pretty kind to me this time, with a very simple, straightforward answer. That's one of the little bits of RNG that we have to deal with in this run is those mastermind puzzles. They are actually properly, I mean, they're random within their randomization space, so you have to do it. You actually have to do the puzzle every time. You've got to figure it out. You can't. We unfortunately can't memorize answers. We need to actually solve it. So the solution to it can be either really straightforward and simple, or it can be just fairly unlucky. So you work through just kind of a pattern to solve it. And if you're lucky, the pattern, as it did this time, it lands you on the answer pretty much right away. We had 2 correct, and then the other 2 were yellow, meaning that they are a correct entry. They're just in the wrong place. Which, if you've got 2 and 2, 2 correct and 2 yellow, you can just reverse the other 2, and there you go. You got it. So this was a good time for that. All right, come up. Oh. One of the big problems that I had last time 2 weeks ago is I was in the middle of I had just finished playing a lot of God of War 4, and it became a huge problem with then trying to play Amy and adjust to its controls and not just try to play it like God of War 4.
20 years I've been driving and nobody ever bit me. Not even when I was driving the docks in Jersey.
No sooner do we get away from Mrs. Jenkins than your train comes crashing into the station.
We're almost there.
Alright, true antagonist of Amy speedrun, these narrow walkways. Also true antagonist of Amy. I have a drink this week, so expect me to have a number of mistakes, a number of just like small things that I miss, a little bit of inefficiency because I was busy taking a sip instead of playing the game.
Such a brave girl.
Come on, grab my hand. There we go.
Out of here.
These army soldiers started showing up. Phoenix men. They started mowing these monsters down. Just my luck. I get knocked on the head running for a newsstand. I wakes up.
All right, so we're gonna. This is the second time that we've done it, but this is going to be a recurring thing where we need to put Amy through small vents. We're gonna put Amy through small vents and then have her push a button or pick something up. Our positioning wound up getting really good there. We were able to get Lana back into position around the corner so that we could then cancel out of Amy's response cutscene and very quickly get moving again. All right, so this chain link maze here. We want to move quickly through it, but we're ultimately on sort of a fixed timer because we need to wait for Marcello to reach the end. And indeed, if you go too fast, Marcello can actually bug out, and he'll just start running around in circles in the middle of the maze. So we want to go fast, but not too fast. And really, we just want to get to the end in a reasonable amount of time so that we're ready to push this button and lock the gate as Marcello is coming through it. And then ideally get Amy back in hand. Oh, all right, now we're falling behind. We're falling behind because Amy didn't want to grab our hand again. And come on, Marcello, open the door.
No door is smart enough to beat Cello with his magic key. To use, ladies.
So that right there is one of the hilarious minor frustrations that you can run into in running the game and in trying to get a really good run of the game is that Marcello will stop just short of the trigger to open that door if you're standing kind of in a place where he's like he doesn't want to crowd you. He doesn't want to, you know, he respects personal space, which I guess is cool, but you know, it kind of sucks when he's standing just barely to the side of. All right, so we don't have control of Lana right now. Sort of. We have some control of Lana in that we can. Oh, if we can just find. There we go. If we swing our board, we can force Lana to step forward and get her into a place where we can then hide under the desk before it's actually time to hide under the desk. All right. Marcello is not in fact dead, and so he's going to go talk to these soldiers, and I hope you're not too attached to him as a character, because, oh, Split, he's about to die. He just died there. All right. So chapter 2 is going to be chapter 2 is where we're going to start to see a lot more actual speed tech, a lot more techniques. Chapter 1 was for the most part just like going through it the way that you would intend, just going really fast and trying to speed up with things like you know, pre-entering inputs, and of course going directly to the solutions to puzzles and whatnot. But chapter 2, we're going to get into some actual nonsense, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The main thing that we're going to be doing in a little bit here is we're going to start reloading at checkpoints for a couple different reasons. The main reason, or one of the primary reasons that we're going to be reloading at checkpoints is because reloading is going to be faster than actually loading the game, or than actually waiting for the game to go through whatever it's doing. So a lot of it will be the loading buffer spaces in between chunks of the level. You'll get into these airlock rooms, and we're going to be reloading instead of waiting for the game to actually cycle. So we were actually in one of these rooms in the last level, and I'm playing it safe and waiting for the ogre to mosey on, and we'll make sure they're around the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're good. All right, so here's our second enemy type. These are an upgrade from the Steve. These are the Jareds. This is the other bit of RNG that we need to deal with in the run, is that Jareds can dodge, and sometimes they just dodge a lot. The second reason that we're going to be reloading at checkpoints, and this'll the reloading is going to start very soon here, and the thing is that once it starts, it comes pretty rapid fire. So that's why I'm, you know, describing it all before we actually get to any of it.
That's a good girl. Bravo.
The second reason why we're going to start doing it is because it allows us to reset game state elements, so things like key cards and whatnot, to get around specific things, or to accomplish actions without actually needing to do them. So we'll get through this door, and then we're going to reload. This will be the first one. We'll hit checkpoint, and then we'll reload from checkpoint. So this one is because it is faster to reload than to wait for the other side of the level to actually load properly. And we're going to be tapping our run button so that we can ideally break into a run as fast as possible out of the load. You can see the level still popping in. And then the second one, we're going to go through the door, push the soldier, hit the lock, and then reload at the checkpoint. And then this will give us the game state as though we had solved the puzzle to lure that soldier out of this room. So from there, we can just get stuck on the locker, get out the door, and around the corner. These motion mines here, you're supposed to go through them very slowly, or alternately, you can just run through them at full speed. So into this airlock room. Now this one we do need to wait for. It's going to load a fairly large, useless room, but we need to go into it because it has the blood pool that we need to scan with our DNA cracker, so that we can open the genetic lock back there. There's a couple points of RNG in this room. It looks like there's two Jareds that can spawn in here. The first one is not there, and neither is the second. So that's good. We ignore them either way. We don't need to actually fight them, but they can be obnoxious and they can cause problems, especially if Amy decides to follow us back into the room, which she sort of did. Not too much, not too bad. We just need to intercept her before she goes and gets herself stuck in a corner. Alright, so back into the airlock room. This one is a checkpoint, so once she's using the computer, we're going to reload from the checkpoint. And we don't need Amy for the rest of the level. We might end up with her, depending on bad luck. But on the whole, we may not actually need to see her again after this, except to wave goodbye as we blow on past. All right, so we're gonna. Okay, well, that's bad. So, I don't know what's going to happen now, but we'll run with it.
DNA match. Access granted. John, the scrambler in the server room is starting to show signs of wear and tear. Go take a look at it.
So, yeah, that Jared decided to just dodge multiple times in a row. But, oh, and then I missed. So that was actually, so despite the confusion, I almost recovered from that until I failed to push the second guard and instead just ran in a circle around him. So that's funny. That's comical.
John,
I
the
consider
scrambler
that
in the
comical.
server room is starting to show signs of wear and tear. Go take a look at it, will you?
All right. So one of the things we're gonna
Just
do,
need to find that server room, Amy.
subtle thing to do there. So the reason why you need to push the guard is because otherwise the guard just shoots you as you run down the hall. Oh, and then... oh, that's why we do practice. It's okay, though. Now we'll have Amy with us. I was like trying to go... oh, come on. Trying to go around these puddles, but instead went the wrong way and just walked right into all of them. And... all right, so in between the two levels, we were told to get into an elevator, even though the elevators aren't working, but now they're working. So we get into the elevator because we're trying to get to the train station, which is upstairs in the mall. Yeah, like none of this. Oh God. Oh no. Trying to explain Amy. All right. As a practice run, this one's going to come down to a lot of just like narrating what I'm doing right at this moment.
Ellen's cut off.
The metros are on automatic pilot. There's one running every 15 minutes.
All right, so Amy has magical powers now. We're going to use this. We're going to use this symbol, and she's going to copy it into her space iPad that she got in the opening cutscene that we didn't watch, and then we need this because we're going to use Amy. We're going to use the psychic child for, of course, the most logical purpose you could have for a psychic child. We're going to be breaking boxes with it. So we're going to be breaking boards. There we go.
You did it.
That's what we need Amy's psychic powers for. All right. So we're going to send her up top because we don't actually need her for her psychic powers. We largely just need her to push buttons for elevators that are on the wrong side of the room.
I won't be long.
So once her elevator gets to the top, we're going to send her over to this button, and she'll push it, and it'll queue up this elevator so that we don't need to wait for it when we get to the other side, and then we get to shuffle across another narrow ledge. Alright, hop on down off the ledge, drag the box out of the way, learn something about the plot. The only people turning into these monsters are citizens born in Silver City. It's weird. Haven't you noticed anything? Alright, we did not get lucky with clipping through that mine, but it's fine. These ones on this level, unfortunately... So the ones on the last level we could just barrel through at full speed for whatever reason, for completely unexplained reasons. That doesn't work here. We don't know why. And I think I missed the stick, but that's okay. We can get it on the way past. We can get it on the way. We can get it on the way back the other direction. I really like timing this here. So Lana is busy talking about these metastims and how like weird they are, and then it's just a really good moment to like actually like inject one right into your neck.
Is the last thing on my mind right now, Ellen. Have you learned anything?
We're moving fast enough that a couple different things are all happening at the same time. I'm going to kill a few of these guys just to save myself problems in the future. So we took out 3 of them. That should be good. That should be good for us. All right.
I'm so sorry to put them through all this.
There's an audio cue that we listen to there so that we can look at the, so that we can visually look at the control that we need to push, and you listen for Amy's footsteps on the, on the metal. And, okay, time to fly. Oh, come on.
Authorization accepted. Security system.
So we're gonna shut off the mines so that we don't need to, don't need to deal with them on the way past, and we're gonna recharge Amy's mind powers. We're gonna recharge her her mind bullets. This is a detour, kind of going in the wrong direction. It is a bit of a lengthy detour, but it is ultimately faster. It is ultimately faster to back up to the end of the level here and recharge than it is to do the next puzzle straight, like to do it properly or as intended. So even though we need to climb back up these boxes and everything, and we will also need to contend with, it looks like the last, yeah, has gotten onto the stairs, and now this is actually rough. It is, okay, we're good. We're good. Stairs are bad in this game. Fighting things on stairs is really bad because your attacks will, for the most part, just go over their heads, and yeah, it can lead to some very frustrating fights. All right, we're just gonna check that Amy, there's a bug where Amy can lose her powers when passing through that door.
Battery of tests to understand what's been done to her.
So we'll get Amy to stand here, and we're curving these around in order to avoid a collision brush, collision field, collision whatever, a solid object that can absorb the shockwave. And then Amy's already in position to send us back up the elevator. All right. So controls in Amy are actually, they are the true antagonist of Amy. There's a lot of things that are actually really difficult to accomplish, or really challenging to accomplish. So like turning on Amy's light while you're busy actually doing speedrun movement is hard because of how many different controls you need to be manipulating at the same time. So in order to jog, we need to hold down L1, but then in order to run, we must tap square at the same time. And to hold Amy's hand, we need to be holding R1. So to run with Amy, we're holding down L1, R1, using the left analog stick to steer, and rapidly tapping square in order to come on, hold my hand. Unfortunately, there are these climbs that you need to do. There's several of these like three box climbs, and Amy lets go of your hand between each one. All right. Oh, there we go. So in order to move at full speed with Amy, it requires holding down a couple different buttons. It really keeps all of your digits pretty occupied, and it can then be very difficult, almost impossible actually, to control the camera while you're moving. and doing other things like activating Amy's flashlight, activating doors, picking things up, often involve taking your finger off of one button or another, which just slows you down. Alright, so you can see us in the back there swinging, so we're moving forward just a bit through this cutscene. Not a whole lot, but, you know, every foot counts. And we're just going to zip in and end of level. All right, moving into, oh wait, no, we're moving into chapter, wait, what chapter are we on? We're on chapter 4. We just finished 3. Right, we got on the train. So we'll be moving into chapter 4. So right off the bat, we need Amy to go across the far end of the train, push a button, and then we're gonna queue up a really tricky move where we're gonna damage boost onto one of those sideways walking ledges. And doing that, we're then going to be able to run across the ledge at full speed rather than needing to shuffle sideways. And if we screw it up, we lose 40 seconds. So it's great. Some nice high stakes action here.
You can't be far from St. John's.
Okay, I'll keep you posted.
And we did it. All right, slow down that Letterman Steve. We're going to need that healing syringe. And then we're going to come grab the stick. Beat Steve to death. Some jock he is. All right, we've apparently managed to move so fast that Lana is out of energy, which is unusual. I usually am not going fast enough for that to happen on chapter 4. Usually I'm able to, I got plenty of speed, plenty of go juice. All right, so beat these other two Steves to death. Now we're actually, oh, scared by an art falling off of a wall. That's a random thing that can just happen. We're actually at a perfect sort of damage level for this because it enables us to use the healing from the syringe to run through the kill zone to the checkpoint, and then we're just going to reload. And our good old friend reload from checkpoint. Oh, hey, Amy, where did you come from? Come on.
Amy, do you see anything? Can you open it?
All right, so now we're at a... This is a moment that I actually really love in the speedrun. I loved figuring this out. So when we played this game casually for the first time, I actually got stuck here at this doorway because this is actually really challenging. It's a really challenging moment in the game where you need to stand at this doorway and hold your ground until Amy manages to open it. And so you need to fight off these waves of zombies. And you may have noticed, but the combat in the game is not very good. So even though you're given the one-shot kill crowbar, it's really easy to get overwhelmed. And I love it as a moment in the speed run because it's a great example of just breaking from the implied rules of the system in order to achieve something. So if you just go down to the far side and stand in the other room, rather than being one of the most challenging moments in the game, it becomes incredibly easy. Actually, now that I think about it, I didn't run out of energy. My infection level got high enough that I lost the power to run. That's what happened. Now that I think about it. So what you're supposed to do on that level, what they want you to do is to sneak past that, sneak past the Letterman jacket, Steve, and how they want you to do it is by getting infected enough. All right, regain control, jog up to this guy, beat him with a thing. How they want you to do it is by getting infected enough that the zombies, I'm off on my cycle and Amy is following me, and oh no, oh no, oh no. All right. Hopefully this won't cause too many problems. I accidentally pushed the crate twice, and so now... yeah, alright, that's a problem. Okay, so that's how this level kinda goes, is that if we get spotted, we instantly lose. So what we actually want to do with this this first dumpster is only push it once so that Amy can't get through it, and also it lets us time that so that we're then passing Letterman jacket dude. I probably sat there for a little longer than needed, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We get to enjoy spooky voices and wavy screen effects. So this is what we were supposed to do in the previous chapters. We were supposed to get ourselves to a specific level of infection. And the level, Chapter 4, was set up in order to do that, because we were supposed to be walking across that narrow ledge at the beginning. And there are two vents that are spitting out this red gas. And so you're going to end up walking through them as you shuffle your way across the ledge, and that's going to get your infection to a level where you can then, you are then mechanically primed to sneak past Letterman jacket Steve. And we didn't use it there because it turns out it's faster. It's a lot faster to just run past Steve and then beat him to death with a board. But on this level, it ends up being far, far faster to get yourself infected and then just run past this entire area and pick up the key cards so that you can reload from checkpoint. Oh, hey, Amy, where did you come from? Oh, I don't need to reload here. Right. We learned something, or Starwin figured out that you don't need to reload. You can actually just get out of the
You'll be safe there.
get out of the locker rather than doing a reload. That just getting into the locker is the trigger for the thing that we are trying to bypass, which is an instant kill brush. So there's a moment where it's like, all right, we want to turn on the lantern, but which control are we going to take? Are we going to use to do it? And unfortunately, it's steering. The lantern is on the D-pad, so you can either steer or you can turn on the lantern. So this room's fun. There's a thing here. There's a glitch that we normally we're not going to use it this time. We're not going to use the glitch. We're just going to kind of cross our fingers and pray. Okay, so the zombies are coming out to play. If you instead of using if you close that gate. Not the gate we just came through, but the gate before that. If you close the gate before using the lock, what will happen is these zombies will glitch out their pathing, and instead of coming for you, they'll just stand where they spawn and do nothing. Now, one of them is busy draining Amy of her vital life force, but we don't care about that actually, because we are just going to jog to the end of the level and finish the chapter. So we're just going to abandon her in a sewer. Oh, hey, Amy, you survived. Cool. All right. So this level is probably the best designed level in the game. It's actually a lot of fun on hard mode, which is where you get to see it kind of like as it was intended. On hard mode, this level is actually a really, really solid puzzle that tests your skill in a lot of different ways. Like, not only do you need to figure out the puzzle itself, but you then need to, like, execute it really, really well. And I feel a little bit bad that you're not going to get a chance to see that, to see this game in kind of its best light, because what we're actually going to do is, in a second here, the elevator will open with Willem Dafoe, the final boss, and we are just going to beat him to death in an elevator if we can turn around and not die. And the elevator door didn't close, so... and we keep getting turned around in weird ways. That's kind of bad, actually. That's kind of really bad. Come on, back into the elevator. Alright, we can't actually take too many more hits before we die, so... I'm gonna have to... Alright. The elevator door is supposed to close, and it's really funny because then we end up trapped in there. Well, we don't end up trapped. He ends up trapped in there with us. There we go. There's the door closing. All right, probably only a couple more. 2, 3. There we go. Time. Aside from the fact that I hit the button like a couple seconds late, like what was that? 44:28? 44:29?
I got Amy to the doctor, and for the first time I had the feeling that we weren't alone. If anyone could find out what Professor Raymond had...
So, if it hadn't been for my 2 deaths on Chapter 2, that would have been... Actually, if it hadn't been for my 2 deaths on Chapter 2, that would have been 43-something. 2 deaths, bad beatdown, a little bit of bad luck. So, yeah. That was not bad. Where is my... Oh, that's not fully updated. Not that. What am I looking for? Personal best 44:55. Wait, Wait, really? Have I not updated my personal best? I mean, that's not like a huge improvement, but I mean, that is an improvement. Oh man, that would have been... I would have blown away my personal best if I hadn't kind of screwed up there. Like if I hadn't had those Chapter 2 mistakes. I'm gonna take off last week. I'm just gonna turn this into personal best. 44. What did people? Phil said it was 28 or 28. I'll go with 28. We'll go with 28. I might be making myself look better by a whole second. What is Starwin's current time, or what's the current world record? Do you have that on hand, Vex, or should I should just pull it up on? It'll be faster to just pull it speedrun.com/Amy. 4009. 4009. Yeah, so Starwin has been able to pull pretty far ahead of us. For one, he's better. 2, he's playing on a newer PS3, so he's playing on a PS3 Ultra Slim. So his loads are about on average 1 second faster than mine. And he gets fewer dropped frames and can just more reliably grab Amy's hands. Vex says he's not better than Vex. He's not better than Vexel. He's better than me. He is better than me. He's not better than Vex. Vex, I think if we had hardware parity, it would be really competitive, really competitive between Starwin and Vex, and Vex can probably beat him. Unfortunately, the loading times are sort of, I mean, it's a hardware issue, so that's a factor, and the little things like grabbing Amy more reliably, I'm actually really proud. I'm really proud of what we've been able to do with this run, as a bunch of newbies coming in, that we were able to get it to the point where, the differences in a run are coming down to little things like, okay, well, do you need to stand there waiting for Amy to actually like grab Lana's hand? Like, so there was a moment in chapter 1, there was another one in like chapter 3 where I like had to stand there for a full like, second or two waiting for Amy to like go over and like grab latch on. So being able to more reliably do that. Also, he's able to more reliably like get an early start coming out of loading screens, and I suspect that's another hardware thing. So, like even when I'm just like, prepped and hammering the controls, like he's usually coming out of a loading screen with Lana nearly at full speed, where I still have like a couple, like a few frames of movement before Lana is even, or a few frames of like standing still before Lana is even really like moving. So it's funny. It's tricky like that. But there's only three people even going at it right now. So, what, that was short. We're going to bring this back up. All right. Now let's reset. Yeah. And also, one of the things that we have learned, okay, so I'm actually going to have to quit game. One of the things that we have learned is that the game actually runs worse if you're already, like, if you've already played. So, like, if you've been in game and you then go back to menu. So that whole run where I had gone, like, because I had done that practice on chapter 6 before starting, that actually was worse. Like, that was worse for our time than if we had not done that, than if we had gone straight in or quit out beforehand. Take a big old drink. Scratch my ears. Look for my cat. See if she's in a place where is she sitting somewhere looking all like, hey, I'm going to jump up on your desk. I'm going to give you some head bumps. And as much as I would appreciate that, as much as I love getting head bumps from my cat, who completely incidentally is also named Amy, it would interfere with our time. So, all right. Oh, use space to start split. Okay, so I can just actually hit my space bar. Okay, let's 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so welcome to Amy. Developed by Vector Cell, released by Lexus Numerique in 2012. It is notoriously one of the worst games ever released for the PS3. I don't know if it's quite the worst game ever released for the PS3. There's still a few that I haven't gotten around to playing. Personally, I think Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer and Legends of the Guardians: The Owls of Ga'Hoole are actually worse than this game, but it's still pretty bad. It is still, in fact, actually pretty bad. Oh, there is Amy Cat. I see her coming across the floor. All right. So we're going to try to break out into a run right away. We're going to spend most of the game trying to run as much as we can. We need to pick up this stick off the ground. You couldn't see it because we're not going to look down. We're not going to look around. Camera controls are a nightmare. And in order to run... Oh, there we go. In order to run, we actually need to be tapping the square button, which prevents us from using the camera to look around. So a lot of the navigation we're going to end up doing, not strictly speaking blind, but there's going to be a bunch of moments where we're going to need to be navigating towards the camera and just sort of working off of memory and feel and hoping that we're going in the right direction and not colliding with random terrain and stuff. So there is an introduction to our first enemy type. That was a Steve. That was a basic Steve. I do not remember why we called them Steves. It has been lost to the sands of time. I'm going to go back through all of my old runs and work on the script for GDQ, and hopefully I will, as we get back to the earlier runs, hopefully I will remember why we called them Steves.
So we can all go on and get away from all these monsters. It's the only way out of here, but we need to find a way to cut the power.
So this is Marcello. Marcello is going to follow us around forever. He is our new platonic life partner. He's going to follow us everywhere. We're going to need to lead him everywhere. Speed tip, you need to use like a claw to press square and use the camera stick. Yeah, I've thought about that, of using like thumb and forefinger.
It's a DNA cracker.
Like thumb and forefinger to hold and manipulate the stick, and then middle finger to
Look at the dots on the radar.
middle finger to tap square, and then pinky to work R1. But I think having to do that for 45 minutes straight would actually break my hand. All right, so we're scanning a blood stain because it has the DNA that we need to unlock the DNA lock, the genetic lock. And is the art gonna fall off the wall? No, it's not. Now, the lead designer of this game is a wonderful Frenchman named Paul Cossette. He is a game designer who has been working in the industry for decades. He made several games you may know, you may have heard of. I lost track of what the of where I am in the pattern. Oh no! Oh no! This is bad. Nope.
Authorization
What?
denied. Please try again.
There we go.
Fantastic. The juice is down. Now we'll be able to get through the grill.
So that's what it looks like when you need to do those and it goes poorly. Paul Cassette is a French designer who has been working in the industry for decades. You may remember him from such classics as Shaq Fu, Enforcer of Justice, and the flashback games, both the original and the recent remake. And he has been amenable to us as speedrunners. Like, I thank him for building in speed tech such as being able to skip, going down ledges, and climbing up ladders by just hitting start to skip the animation. So thank you for that.
Me and the nice lady here been looking all over for you. You's a brave little girl. How'd you manage to hide from all these monsters? Huh?
She can't speak. She's not what pushed the button, Amy.
Oh, I think I got stuck on the pillar. I did get stuck on the pillar.
Why don't we try finding a phone first?
We still got into the room fast enough to bypass Amy's next animation, but also, yes, as Vex says in chat, we can thank Monsieur Cassette for patching in checkpoints which did not exist in the original version of the game. So part of the reason why the game is considered one of the worst ever released for the PS3 is also based on its original version, which was patched, though most people didn't update their scores to reflect that it went from being a truly abysmal game to merely a awful game. The original version of the game was even darker and more difficult to see, and did not have checkpoints. So if you failed at any point, you would go all the way to the back of to the beginning of a level. Oh, come on.
Wait for me with Marcello, Amy. I won't be long.
All right, we got a Super Steve around the corner. And no dodging, down in 3 hits, like a chump. He's called Super Steve because he takes 3 hits, which is 1 more than Steve's take on average. Oh, scared by a spooky. We got a spook.
They started mowing these monsters down. Just my luck.
All right.
Knocked on the head running for a newsstand.
Recurring theme in the game, putting Amy into having her crawl into vents to do things inside rooms.
Everybody but me, that is. And well, the monsters. These
Push the button,
soldiers
Amy.
locked all the freaking doors when they left. You calling out for the little girl? I said to myself, no monster be calling out for a little girl.
Dear God, what's happened here? Amy, stick close to me.
Come on, Amy. Come on, grab my hand. We're blocking cello. Come on, grab my hand. Oh, it looks like we lost time there, but we didn't actually, because we need to wait for Marcello to get to the end of this running segment anyway. So now that we're past him, we're caught up. It's fine. You can lose a little bit of time. I'm really actually a little bit more concerned about the fact that we blocked Marcello. So that would have that would slow him down, which is what actually slows us down.
No door is smart enough to beat cello with his magic key. After use, ladies.
I'm so proud of you, Amy. You did it.
Come on. No, grab my hand. Come on, Amy. Grab my hand. There we go.
Shh. There are soldiers in
All right.
Unless you want to get some help. You two stand back now. I'll take care of this. We're not sick. They's gonna see that.
Marcello, we don't know who they are yet.
Hush now. It'll be okay. You two hide. Just think. Hello there. I'm alive. I'm not sick. Just a little beat up. I'm not infected.
I was gonna say, really? That took me 35 seconds, then I remembered that I, like, hit the split super late last time. Oh, oh. All right, so Marcello, who I hope you haven't grown too attached there, just died. He got shot by soldiers. R.I.P. R.I.P. Cello. Who can tell where the wind blows? Only time knows. Only time. I will remember you. Let's see, what other songs? What else do we have? What are some other classic memorial YouTube memorial songs? Any given Sarah McLachlan song.
Amy. Oh. I'm pleased I found you. Listen.
My heart will go on.
Everything's gonna be okay. I promise.
Oh, I should have gone with In the Arms of the Angel instead of I Will Remember You. I Will Remember You is pretty good though, and I think I'm stuck on a wall because I can't see what I'm doing because I'm navigating this in the dark, just looking for the like shiny thing that is the board. And we'll get Amy to turn on her lantern. This is fine though. Like it looks like I'm wasting time, but we need to wait for the ogre to move on. Otherwise, oh, we actually did take too long. And now the ogre... Oh, wait, no. Perfect timing, perfect timing. We got to the window kind of right as the ogre went, you know, got out of sight and out of hearing range. So... The truest memorial song is Vitamin C Graduation. Like that's the Galaxy Brain memorial song. Come on. No, come on. Grab it. There we go. Nope. Alright, so we're supposed to sneak through here, but instead we're just going to run. You're supposed to use Amy's powers to get past that glass, but... And then we're going to restart from checkpoint because it's actually faster to restart from checkpoint here instead of waiting for the level to actually load properly in the airlock. So...
try finding a phone first. I know where there's a whole bunch of them.
Look, security room in Britain. We're real close. Amy, let's see if you can figure this out. It's just like the code game we play in the center.
And oh, dang it! How does it go? And I know you're always watching me from heaven. All right, I should stop. I should stop trying to remember cheesy pop funeral songs, cheesy pop memorial songs, and actually just focus on playing the game. So this room is like really useless, but we need to come in here. Also, there's a chance for some bad random chance if there's 2 Jareds that can spawn in this room. Neither of the runs tonight have had them, so that's good. That's good for us. We ignore them anyway, but they can cause problems, and the less we need to deal with them, the better. Because the less we need to deal with them, the fewer problems. See, it works. It's great. And now we're out of that room, and also it's a checkpoint, so we're going to reload. And hopefully this next little bit is going to go a lot smoother than it did on our previous run. So ideally, just everything from now to the end of the level can go a lot smoother than it had last time. So there's going to be a Jared coming around the corner, and we're actually going to try and kill him real quick. There we go. That's how we want it to go. So that's going to prevent a cutscene from triggering.
DNA match. Access granted.
John, the scrambler in the server room is starting to show signs of wear and tear.
So it's going
Go
to
take a look
prevent
at it.
a cutscene from triggering, and
Now we just
as
need
a
to
result,
find that
it's going to
server room.
prevent a door
Select the scrambler.
from closing.
Ellen. The scrambler
And
is a machine that jams signals.
so yeah, so we could just run back out through this gate without needing to do anything else. And ideally, it's a clean, straight shot to the end of the level from here. And I totally poisoned myself a little too bad, so I'm going to stop and inject myself with healing so that I don't die. And then we just need this to go a little bit better. Nope. And there we go. The second, all right, the second time made up for it.
This
All right, coming into chapter 3. Oh, Glumbear, that noise was so... I guess apparently if you get them all wrong, like if you actually fail out, there's an alarm, which we've probably never actually like heard before.
The metros are on automatic pilot. There's one running hospital.
Okay, Amy. We need to get up onto the roof. You can do it. You did it! Bravo, Amy! That's good. Now wait here. I won't be long.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So that alarm, I guess, is supposed to be like, oh no, a zombie's coming, except none of the mastermind puzzles are actually in a place where you would really worry about a zombie coming. Like, I guess that one, there's one, no, because you already went past it. So, okay, all right. So the hallway, that last hallway at the end of chapter 2 is really stupid. It's one of the like many just like really just I can't tell what it is they thought they were having you do sort of moments, because there's a zombie that you're supposed to sneak past, but it's actually like impossible to sneak past him. You're supposed to use the silencing bubbles. You're supposed to use Amy's silencing bubbles, a power that we've routed out of the run entirely, to like get over glass and stuff, but the thing is that if you come around the corner, like, at all, the zombie notices you. So you kind of have to deal with it and get past it. You know, you end up fighting the Jared. Like, you end up fighting it no matter what.
I should be able to cut off the security system with this card. They were waiting for me. Damn!
Ah.
I'm so sorry to put you through all this, Amy. You're so brave. Thank you.
Nope. Nope. One of these times I'm gonna have to check, like, what happens if we just, like, spam the elevator? Can we make the elevator break? Even if it doesn't do anything, it would just be funny to know. And... damn it, Amy! Come on, grab my hand. Alright. Go... no! Amy! Damn it! What? Alright, that worked. Okay. No idea. No, well, I mean, okay, I know what was going on there, but I don't know why it was going on. I mean, I kind of know why it was going on, but, like, yeah. Well, I shouldn't say that's never happened before, because that has. It's more that it hasn't happened to me that many times in a row.
Have you been developing any symptoms?
Amy's telekinetic powers are increasing, Ellen. They're more powerful than her
Ah,
best scores in the
alright.
center.
Maybe
By
just
at
go
least
over
a
there.
magnitude.
I'll need to run a battery of tests to understand what's been done to her. You're certain that she's showing no signs of infection?
Alright, come on, come on,
She heals me.
come on, come on.
I'm so proud of you, Amy. You did it. Wait for me, Amy. I'm not going far.
I'm a little leery. I do get a little bit leery about, like, pressing into elevators, like, to get off of elevators, because you can actually, like, clip through the terrain when you're riding an elevator, and get yourself stuck in, like, either just fall off. I mean, kind of worst case scenario is you just fall off. Or I should say worst case scenario. Best case scenario is you just fall off. Worst case scenario, you fall, like, into a box that you're not supposed to be inside of and get stuck forever. So, alright, we're going to have Amy do that. And we're going to do some busy work. We don't actually need to close this gate at all. It gives us something to do while we're waiting for Amy to draw. Because we can get there and back with plenty of time before she finishes. And then hopefully we won't muck any of this up. All right. So there's a bunch of stuff that you're supposed to do in this room, or you can just walk across the wire. All right. Now we're gonna wait for Amy to trot out here, because it's actually, like, really hard. Like, it's hard to get her out of there effectively while holding her hand, and by bringing her, by waiting for her to come to us, we can force what hand she's in, which means we can put her, we can hold on to her hand with our right hand, which is going to improve our performance down here. So we're using the attack thing again. Alright, so that actually, it looks like every time we do that, it switches hands. Amy moves over to the left, and it's alright. It's a little trickier. It's a little trickier, but we made it. Oh yeah, Paul Cassette has this great quote that I'm going to memorize for the final script, about how it's a survival horror game, and so you wouldn't. I'll use it when we get to the point where it's going to be best. So. I'll give it to Crystal. I'll give it to Crystal. Like she'll have like printouts and references and stuff,
Ellen,
so that
can you hear me? Ellen,
we don't. If memory fails, she can
I don't think so.
she can get me back on track. Like so the script, the actual GDQ script is going to be more or less written out with large portions,
I'll keep you posted.
literally memorized. Oh, and there we go, falling into the water. Great start to chapter 4. We're gonna so it'll be almost like literally written out, and I'll try my best to like memorize it, and then Crystal will have a copy to then prompt me back on track
Ellen,
anywhere that I start to slip off, and you know, we'll just wing around stuff like that. So like if something like that happens, then it's like, okay, well we just talk about it and maybe pause a little bit until we get across the bridge, and hopefully don't fail more than once or twice in a row. All right, got it. And we didn't even super poison ourselves this time, so we shouldn't end up slowing down towards the end, and we'll just drift right on through that. We'll push Letterman Steve. Slow down to those electrical fields are actually like really dangerous, so if I could just find a way to draw them away. Didn't get spooked by an art this time. Gonna pump a syringe right into our neck and then just run right on through here. Oh, hey, Amy, where did you come from? Come on, grab her hand, and...
Amy, do you see anything? Can you open it?
I don't know why I'm running into this room. There's no reason to. And this is where I'm going to have my whole little spiel about implied rules, so that games often imply rules to us, rules of engagement, rules of behavior. And so in this case, the implied rule is that you're supposed to stand near the door and defend the door while Amy tries to open it from the other side. And it's actually really difficult because you need to deal with all of these waves of zombies and you need to fight them off, and they're actually coming from a couple different directions all at the same time. And it's actually a place where it's really likely to get stonewalled in a casual run. The chapter 4 here is where you're gonna get stuck. But if you just go to the end of the hallway, then you just kill them as they file in through a hole in the wall. And I completely forgot my splits there, so... I hate splits. Like, I really kind of actually hate splits as a, like, live thing. If they were automatic, cool. Having to actually remember to hit them? Nah. Nah. I don't think a foot pedal would actually help. Like, the problem is not hitting. It's not the triggering of, it's the remembering to trigger. Alright, so we're good here so far. We're gonna stand 1, 2, 3, good. So this is actually the technique that we were supposed to be using last mission. This is what we were supposed to be learning there, is that if Lana is at a appropriate infection level, she can creep through the zombies. As long as she doesn't call too much attention to herself, she can impersonate a zombie and navigate amongst them. She can walk amongst them, be amongst them. And we didn't use that at all, of course, because why would we when we could instead just beat them to death with a board? But on this level, so what we need to do here, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get Amy from one end of the level to the other. See, we can impersonate the zombies, but she can't. And if they see her, then, you know, we lose. So there's a couple different ways of getting Amy from one end of the level to the other. One of them is to use her powers to basically distract zombies or hide yourself or disguise her. And the other way is to just run to the end, pick up this key card, and reload from checkpoint. Oh, hey, Amy. Thanks for joining us. Good enough. Close enough counts in was it horseshoes and hand grenades?
Amy, I know they're scared, but I'm going to get you to the hospital. You'll be safe there.
I don't know about this shortcut. Yeah, I don't know about not reloading there. I mean, that's what... Oh, I guess she was standing on the elevator. All right.
Amy, I know they're scared, but I'm going to get you to the hospital. You'll be safe there. I promise.
All right, mandatory sewer level. We get to see some great physics things here as we go over those small bumps, and you get to watch Amy just sort of like fly up into the air. There's a few places in the game where you can position Amy to get just some like real height. Like you can just launch her. It's great. We've tried to figure out if there's anywhere that we can use it to actually save time, but so far it seems like there's only places where you can use it for comedic effect. Come on. No, come on. Alright, so we're getting swarmed by zombies here in the mandatory sewer level, and we're going to use Amy as bait to keep them from chasing us. So we used her for her lantern to get down to that body so that we could, you know, see the bridge that we need to cross, the little bridge that we need to cross, and then we're just gonna leave her there in the sewer. Alright, 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 alright. All right, so now we're on to the final chapter, titled Redemption. So Paul Cassette has a great quote during the promotional during the promotion of Amy prior to its release, where he talked about, you know, that it's a survival horror game, and he was talking about the combat and how Lana is very vulnerable and Amy is also, you know, quite vulnerable, and you know, that the combat would probably be was going to be, you know, quite challenging, like that it would be a very secondary aspect to the game, that you'd be very poor, that Lana would be very poor at it, because she is not the, you know, look at her, she is not the type of person who is just going to charge into a fight. And that's very funny, because what we're going to do here with the final boss is we're going to get stuck in the elevator with him and just beat him with a crowbar. Alright, back into the elevator with you. Come on. Or into a corner, either. I'm cool with either. So part of why we want him in the elevator is just because it's a nice narrow space where we can get him trapped. Oh, and time. What was that actually at? 44:18?
I got Amy to the doctor, and for the first time I had the feeling that we weren't alone. If anyone could find out what Professor Raymond had been doing to Amy, Ellen could. And knowing what was wrong was halfway to making her better. Whatever he's looking for, he was willing to destroy a town to discover it.
All right. That ending was like the ending of Rage. That was good. That was good. Vex is trying to get... Okay, Vex, see if you can describe... I'm going to load chapter 1, and I'm going to see if I can do this. So what is it that we need to do? We need to navigate Marcello around... 44:17 is when he locks up for the final cinematic. Because I haven't even tried this Marcello thing yet. It's a thing that I know exists, but
Amy, where are you?
Oh my God. What's going on?
Oh, one of the things that I forgot to mention in both of these runs tonight is that all of this, so the big summary that I forgot to mention is that all of this ends up happening, that the apocalypse happens in about a half hour. I forgot to double tap space, or I forgot to double tap start, and so we had to watch that whole zombie thing, and then also, and then I tried to like start through it, which then took him more time. Alright, so... sorry, I was scratching my head using the controller itself.
Amy! Amy! Amy, it's me, Lana.
Over here. Hey there, Missy.
So... So how is it? Where? Okay, I guess the question is where is it that Marcello starts explaining?
Amy, this nice lady here really wants to find you. So we can all go on and get away from all these monsters.
Can I push Marcello? Like... I wanna push him off the tracks. Come on, Marcello. We're gonna try to have some fun with you. We're just gonna try to nudge you. Into spaces you're not supposed to be in.
It's the only way out of here. We need to find a way to cut the power. Follow me. I've got an idea.
Okay, so that right there is the auto walk moment. So that's the brush, that's the trigger that we need to like get him around somehow. All right. Or wait. Also, I just noticed that say, like, use R3 to crouch past enemies, and it's like, no. No, don't do that. Alright, so let's try leaving...
Amy! Amy! Amy, it's me, Lana.
Hey there, this nice lady really wants to find you. So we can all go on and get away from all these monsters. Run for your life! There's everywhere! Scrambling! This place is ridiculously strong. If there's force to go through, go slowly and tiredness. Sickness will get you quicker. This day, another genetic lock. Take this.
Huh. Huh.
Amy! Amy! Amy, it's me, Lana.
Hey there, mister. Really wants to find you. All go on and get away from all these monsters. It's the only way out of here. We need to find a way to cut the power. Follow me. I've got an idea. There's everywhere! Scrap, lady! There's everywhere! Scrap, lady! Run for your life! Careful. This place is infection.
Yeah. I wonder. Okay, I wonder if we can actually like get him. I don't even know. I don't even know if this is going to be faster. Oh, so if you lead him over to the right, he starts talking, or like into the other room, he starts talking about the infection piles that are in there. So like here, I'll go show y'all. So there's some of these the red goo piles in that room, and so that's what he's referring to.
Amy! Amy! Amy, it's me, Lana.
Hey there, this nice lady really wants to these monsters. You ain't eating me! Run for your life! You ain't eating me! Amy, now wherever you are, run for your life! You ain't eating me! Run for your life! Run for your life! Oh, this thing? It's a DNA synchronizer. I suppose I can tell you something. I wasn't always a cat rider. I mean, I always been a driver, but let's just say that, well, I used to work with some people with, connections. Anyway, this thing can get
Huh.
you all these fancy new DNA locks. It just needs to find a sample of DNA of the person it's authorized to let in.
Interesting. Huh. Well, we've soft locked now. Huh. Fascinating. Fascinating. All right. So, we brought Cello far enough that he triggered his.
Damn.
Oh, there we go.
Lock. Here, take this. It's a DNA cracker. Start by scanning the box with it.
Interesting. Interesting. All right. Where did he go? I legit do not know where he went. I can't see him. Oh, he ran back. He was running and then ran back to... No, no, no. Not this way. No, Marcella, come this way. Come on. Oh, God. Oh, this is the worst. Alright, we're definitely... Alright. Oh, did we get the zombie off to the left this time?
Amy! 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 It's me, Lana.
Oh. Hey there, Missy. Amy, this nice lady really wants to find you. So us can all go on and get away from all these monsters.
No, now he's running.
You ain't eating me!
There we go, Chell. Nope, nope,
It's everywhere!
nope,
Scrap lady!
nope,
You
nope.
ain't eating me! There's everywhere! Scrap lady! You ain't
Alright, this is
eating me.
working. Sort of. Nope. Nope. No, Marcello, you
Find a way to cut the power.
you ass face.
Follow me. I've got an idea. Run for your life! There's everywhere! Scrap lady! Run for your life!
Nope.
Wherever you are.
Oh God. Oh no.
You ain't eating me! Run for your life! There's everywhere! Scrap lady!
No, no, come on.
There's everywhere!
No, why are you going? Where? Come on.
Run for
Just
your life!
come on. No.
Ain't eating me! Run for your life!
Oh man. Oh. Oh, this is. Is this what Starwind did? Is this how Starwind did it?
Amy! Amy! It's me, Lana.
Oh, hey there, miss. Amy, this nice lady really wants to find you. So we can all go on and get away from all these monsters. Run for your life! You ain't eating me! There's everywhere! Scrap lady! Run for your life! Run for your life! Run for your life! Run for your life! There's everywhere! Scrap lady! Damn, another genetic lock.
Did it?
Take this. It's a DNA crack. Start by scanning the box with it. Okay.
I have no idea if that saved me literally any time at all. I mean, I think... Huh. Well... Huh. Interesting. Are we at a checkpoint? Where are we at?
Okay, now look at the dots on the radar that light
Oh,
up.
no, we hit a... We would need to go back. Hmm. 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 I think this might actually, like, okay. It might actually be faster if it goes smoothly. So like that time where basically we were able to more or less keep Cello with us, we wound up skipping a couple lines, a couple vocal lines, and then hmm 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 and if you basically softened up, if you softened up the zombie so that you could then like quickly kill it, like, you know, you didn't have to hit it twice, you only had to hit it once when you got to the when you get to the lock. Hmm. 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 So I'm basically trying to think of it in a. I'm always trying to think about it in a marathon setting. Is my number one concern, is how would it fit into the presentation of a marathon run? Like, that is my number one thing. So I think that this is replicable, even though it is sort of like herding sheep. Marcello is somewhat predictable-ish if you can get him into the right path. Like, so what I was doing on that last one is I was pretty reliably manipulating him, but it's a chaos nonsense mess. The thing is that I'm kind of oh I part of my heart really wants to be able to pull off that chaos mess, because that is hilarious. That is, like, that right there, hurting him with the zombie is hilarious. So, hmm, hmm. And like, even if it goes wrong, like, the worst case scenario is that he just, like, it's not a game ending thing. If it goes wrong, he just runs back to his previous checkpoint and then you wait for him. So you're looking at like 40 seconds, you know, and so in a GDQ setting, like, you know, the stakes are kind of low. So it's like if it really does fail, then it's like, all right, well, you just keep going. It doesn't interrupt. It's not even a failure like on chapter 4 where it's like, okay, you go back to the end of the level. It's not a huge time loss. Like it's a 40-second, 45-second time loss because of loading and redoing things. But, you know, it's fast. This one, it doesn't even break flow. It's just if it breaks, if it fails, you just kill the zombie and you just wait for him. So, yeah. Ralinus, you've Ray Ralinus, Ralinus. That you have it pretty much exactly. So you have to keep running him until he hits the next flag. So in this case, like that last one, it actually worked. It's like I kept him running, and then he hit his next trigger, and gave us the genetic thing. You know what? I'm gonna give it. We're gonna restart the chapter just because we accidentally went past the checkpoint. Crystal says, "Tell everyone Internet Whiskey Aunt says hi." So Crystal says hi for the stream regulars.
Amy, where are you?
Yeah, let's get back to that point. We're gonna give it one more try just to see how consistent we can be with it. I probably should have actually started the timer just so that we have a comparison, but oh, and I didn't. Eh. So there's a rare zombie. And that's a zombie that dies in one hit. So let's kill this guy and keep Letterman jacket.
Amy! Amy! Amy, it's me, Lana.
Hey there. This nice lady really wants to find you. So we can all go on together. All these monsters. There's everywhere! Scrap lady! There's everywhere! Scrap lady! There's everywhere! Scrap lady! There's everywhere! Scrap lady! Run for your life! You ain't eating me! There's everywhere! Scrap lady! You ain't eating me! Damn, another genetic block. Take this. It's a DNA. Start by scanning the box with it.
I'm one. I'll need to time it. I'll need to time it now. Like that. Did that actually save any time though? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. Next time, pause before using the DNA correct. Yeah. I know. I'm ending the stream now, so it's it doesn't matter. But I'll compare them, and we'll see. Yeah. Hey, thank you everyone. Thanks everybody for coming out. This was I'm glad that this went well to get back into the flow of things after a couple weeks off. And yeah, I had a good time with this. I set personal bests twice in a row, despite both having substantial, like, minute long failures in both runs. So if I can have a nice clean run, like I'm under 44, no problem. Probably even under 43, even with a decent even I'm probably under 43 with just some decent RNG, and yeah, so cool. So I'm gonna spend a bunch of time on scripting. The script has gotten the script is coming along. I don't have a presentable version of it yet, but it is starting to actually find like tangible form. It's just the lower priority of my scripting right now, because the big 50 Shades video is the big script for that, the monstrous currently 75-minute script for 50 Shades of Grey is almost done, and should be recorded next week. So that's that's what's taking priority right now. So next week will probably also be a largely improvisational script, but then I'm hoping that Speedrun Learning Curve on the 30th is going to be the first draft of the actual, like, script, the proper one. And so, yeah, so that's kind of what's on my plate right now, is getting 50 Shades out by like the 25th. And then after that, if get that out by the 25th, and then focus on Amy until GDQ at the end of June, and then after that back to 50 Shades for parts 2 and 3. So that's my plan for the next little while. So that's kind of what's taking priority, and all of that. So yeah. So that's what's going on, and we will, yes, see you all probably we'll try to do a chill stream on the weekend, and we'll otherwise see you on Monday for the next Charles T. Sad Boys House of Disappointments, which will be I don't know what it is yet. We haven't decided, but it will no doubt be something awful. Because, I mean, look at the selection of games for that. So anyway, thanks everybody for coming out. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me for this 20 weeks of speed running Amy. It warms my heart. Anyway, take care. Have a good night. I'm clicking the button now.